Wow, I'm live. How about this? Having flashbacks from my last live at Trike Fest, where I gave a guy a mullet. There's things to read. We got one person. I'm not going to say much until maybe a couple people join, but thank you for the number one. Hope he's gone. That was great. What's up? Treasure Life is here. Vroom Facts. Of course, Kane. What's going on, sir? This is neat. David Fisher's here. What's up, man? All right. A bunch of people here. Okay. Well, the purpose of this live right now, I wanted to mention a trip that Palin and I are going to be taking, a three-wheeler adventure, and I'm going to need some input from you guys. Vroom Facts got stuck on his ATV today. It happens. I almost got stuck on flat ice last week. But I'm going to try to read your comments while we go and chime in when I can. I'm not as well-versed in this as our buddy MRC Builds is. But tomorrow at 6 in the morning, Palin and I are going to set out and go on a trike adventure to track down a few things. There's the man himself, Aaron from MRC Builds. So we're going to be going, I live in New York, upstate, the real upstate, not Poughkeepsie, not Binghamton, not somewhere an hour north of New York City, up in the southern Adirondacks. And we're going to venture down into Connecticut, is the first stop on our journey. Massachusetts. Outside of Springfield, a gentleman is buying a set of 250 SX fenders from me, so we're going to stop and say hi to him. And quick turn and burn, we're going to make our way down to northern Connecticut, outside of Stafford Springs, to pick up a machine from my buddy Dustin Bartley. That I met Dustin probably 5 years ago. You're going to have to bear with my grandfather clock. I've had this thing since I was a kid. 2, 3. Palin's right here. You want to be on this live? Say hi. We have complimenting hoodies. Need a mullet to ride three-wheelers appropriately. That's true. Well, I don't have to worry about having a mullet.
He has a beard.
You might be able to. We can trim this into a mullet.
No.
I know how.
Yeah, I'd rather.
So I'm telling them about our trip. So stop number 2. Here's the grandfather clock. Yep. I can't remember not having that grandfather clock. So I live in the house I grew up in, so it has been in this house. It's got a little plaque in there that says 1978. So I didn't show up until 1980, but it's older than I am, and it's always been here. I don't play Halo.
I have no idea what Halo is.
And no, we minimize electronics, so we encourage them to get outside the house. But I know you're always outside, vroom. But okay. Stop number 2 is down outside of Stafford Springs, Dustin Bartley's place. I was saying how I've known Dustin forever. Well, not forever. But probably since 2017, I think, is when I met him. He sold me a machine in December that I'm just finally going to pick up. And I haven't told anybody what it is. I don't even think Palin knows really what it is. But you're open to guesses if you want to guess. So I'll reveal it tomorrow. All this that we're doing tomorrow is going to be made into a video, and I'll air that on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. It's not a 350X. It's nothing that you could go buy at the dealer. fabrication was involved. I have a friend who has one similar, but I think there's only one other like it that I can think of out of all the three-wheelers I know of. Holden, Mass. I don't know where Holden, Mass is. I'm going to just outside of, where was it that we're going? Ludlow? We're just outside of Springfield, and then we're dropping down into Connecticut from there. Alex just got back from Glamis. That's on my to-do list. It's not a 200 ES 84, not a 350X. It's a neat machine. It's not finished, so there is some assembly required. There's some work left to do on it, but it's going to be fun. So we were considering, hey, from Montreal, Quebec, not a $500. So, Vintage Motors. Yeah, that's right. His shop is in Holden. We're going to end up there. So give me just a minute to get to that. Hello from Maryland. What's up, Steven? So we're going to go pick that machine up. And that's probably going to take an hour or so to get that loaded up. And Dustin's got to give me some instruction on where he left off and where I need to start from.
Alex wants to know where we're from.
Alex, we are in upstate New York. We are in the southern foothills of the Adirondack Mountains. So central, middle of New York if you go east to west, or north to south. We're a little bit to the east of center, but pretty much centered north to south.
Everyone's from Canada.
British Columbia. Mike is a wicked cool guy. So let's talk about Mike. We are going to Holden. I always associate him with Princeton, but his shop is in Holden. Not a Nicholson 500. They're very cool. I don't have any Suzuki's vroom vroom. I did have 3 of those at one point and an LT50, but they were the wrong flavor. I don't like lemon. You got 85 250R 3-wheeler for sale. That's very good. Yeah. You never have a hard time selling those. Okay. So after we pick up this machine from Dustin, which nobody has guessed yet, so
guess it, guys.
We're going up to Holden, Mass to see Vintage Motorsports owner operator Mike Palmgren. And I sent him my cases to my 85 250R a few weeks ago, probably 3 or so weeks ago, and he vapor honed them. He put all new bearings and seals in them and got me any gaskets or whatnot that I need to reassemble the motor. But I'm going to reassemble the motor. It looks like $1 million. He powder coated the case covers and the chain cover, front sprocket cover. But you'll see all that tomorrow, and I'm going to let him say exactly everything he did. But we're going to get a tour of a shop, and I need to know if there's any questions that you guys want to have answered from Mike. If you don't know Mike, if you don't know Vintage Motorsports, Mike is the guy you send your machine to if you want it completely all original, but better than it ever came out of the factory. The attention to detail that Mike puts into it is second to none. He's the Honda whisperer. He knows exactly how to do everything.
Isn't Don Honda whisperer? John?
Yeah, John's good, but can you repair a speedometer? That's a good one. Can you repair a speedo? I've wondered if you can dissect one. I haven't looked into it too much, but to restore it, I'm sure you got to. That's from MYNCP. MindCP. That's a good question. Yeah, Mike. So that's the other thing. If you want Mike's services, you have to wait. He is in demand. He does not lack for work because he's the best. So he can. I wish there were more people like Mike, but when you're the best, you're the best. If you're reading this, do a jumping jack.
I did a jumping
You did a
jack
jumping
already.
jack? All right.
And then Trisha did jumping jack.
Okay. So we only got one question. I'm going to come up with my own questions for sure, but some of it might be on the spot, on the fly, visually. Oh, man.
Lucky.
If he was 15 minutes from my house, I might be over there more often than he'd like. It's a free internship. Got a speedometer, but the needle doesn't go up until I get in the third gear.
Wow.
Huh. This doesn't even register. Does it register really low? Like you might be going 50, but it's only reading 20. Where's MRC Builds?
Where'd he go?
He was here. There
He's
he
right
is.
there.
What's Mike's dream machine? Ooh.
Oh.
I like that.
Vroom's dad won't let him have a 3-wheeler. How sad.
Well, I know from previous, I know from previous questions or comments on videos that Vroom is, I think, 11.
Oh.
And he's very excited about Honda 3-wheelers, and I think that's awesome.
I'm 10.
Yep. And I've been riding 3-wheelers since I can remember. My dad had an 84 Big Red, and that was that was the first machine I ever rode, was a 84 Big Red, I think. I missed a comment here. Do you know any clean 350Xs for sale around the New England area that's not too far away? Whenever I look at Facebook Marketplace, so, I'm in and around that area. So I've seen some clean restored machines, not clean original, but everything's going for big money right now. If it's a 250R or a 350X, I think the market's kind of softened on the less desirable machines, your 110s, your 125s, your 200s. Treasure Life bought an 82 Honda Big Red new in Alberta, Canada. That's awesome. First year of the 84, or the 84, first year of the 200E Big Red. I think 200S is cool because that was in the middle in 1987, and that's when 3-wheelers came. Traded it for an S. While we're waiting for more questions to come in, I'll take this opportunity to mention that MRC Builds and I, Aaron from MRC Builds, we're going to do a joint live video. So I don't know how that works exactly, but YouTube's just recently opened up the ability to do that. So that's the one thing we're going to do together. I don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. So what's my favorite trike?
Probably Mike's.
Okay. Well, Aaron from MRC Builds wants what's his dream machine, but we can ask what's his favorite trike.
Yeah, okay. He said yeah.
In case it's not a trike, we'll ask what's favorite trike. But I think Kane might be answering the question if it was posed to me. What's my favorite trike is a 350X. got my first 350X when I was 15. Summer that I was 15, so close to 16, but it was. You leaving?
No.
Okay, you're just showing off. uh, I had a 250X that I sold not long before this 350X popped up for sale. I found it in the Want Ad Digest. This is long before the internet. Al Gore hadn't invented the internet yet, or at least us commoners didn't have it. And it was about 10 minutes away, and it was $1,350. And it was like a low hour original tire 86 350X.
You have a lot of questions to answer.
How busy is MRC Builds? I know I talk to MRC Builds almost daily, with rare exception. So I know he's a very busy guy.
I don't.
Thoughts on Takati? I think that might be a Mike question from Alex Torres. Vroom Vroom likes the 84 Big Red. That's always a good one. Good replacement choke cable on the market. What machine? $350X Minty. Mine is 82. IT 250. What's an IT 250, Kane? I think I remember a little while ago, Mr. Palmgren mentioned a new online parts shopping setup. He did mention that he's making it better. So we'll ask about that. That was Rick Color. Online shopping. How's that coming along, and when will it be up and running? An 84 Takati. I didn't really like it that much. Those first gen Takatis were kind of weird with the radiator set up, and then they're like, oh yeah, you gotta put a headlight somewhere. We'll put it over here, offset. So they're funny looking. For a 250 ES. I will ask him that. Those are a pretty unique cable. Performance. Yamaha bike. What do you mean, Kane? Use more words. Cat. What is going on? Treasure Life. It says cat. Steal of a deal. 250R frame with original rims, swing arm, 3 gas tanks. I may sell, not sure yet. Well, that sounds delicious. Black Smoke Matters. Next Friday is your birthday. Well, happy birthday in advance, Vroom Vroom. I'll try to remember that. So, yeah, back to me and MRC Builds. We're going to be teaming up to do a co-live. I don't know how that works or whatnot, but we'll figure it out. Bear with us. So Palin and I are going to leave at 6. We figure we'll be at the first stop at 8:30. We'll be at the second stop at 9:30. We will probably be to Mike's around noontime. So I don't think I'll do a live there because I don't think that's necessary, but I'll record lots of video, ask all these questions, get them answered for you. What else? We figure we'll be home around 6 so I can edit that video and post it up Sunday. So stay tuned for that. I am bringing Mike something special. So we will record his reaction and then that might turn into a secondary video. We'll say that.
Reaction video.
Aaron is looking forward to it. Do you guys have a Jackery power bank? I don't know what a Jackery power bank is, but I have a booster pack that I use, if that's what you're talking about. Aaron asked Mike, what is his best score/buy story?
Google it.
Do I have any tips to preserve cat?
He's a cat.
Is that why he's saying cat?
No, his name is Ash, not Sammy.
To preserve tires, Treasure Life, Mike Palmgren told me a long time ago, there's a product called Aerospace 303. It comes in a white bottle, and it helps to keep the tires hydrated, if you will. It helps keep them black, helps clean them, but it doesn't strip out the moisture out of the rubber like other products do. Like a lot of these, wet look tire shines, things like that, ultimately dry out the tires. So they look good, but you're not doing them any favors. So the Aerospace 303 is a great product. And I'm not good at this. I need to be better at this, but keeping them off concrete, because concrete can draw the moisture out. I want to get a concrete sealer. I've got a guy that I use on Instagram that helped me get my patio sealed. So I will definitely be reaching out to him and promoting him when I do that. But I want to seal my concrete in the back in my big room. And then probably where my Honda sign is, I will be doing like an epoxy coating because that needs to look better. So that's how I do that.
River wants a sticker.
Solar battery backup is a Jackery power bank. I don't have one of those. Do I know if there's any trike events around New England this summer coming up? So, New England. I'm having an event at my house on August 5th. And we had the same event last year. So if you saw that video, it's that event. So that's just a vintage Honda event, and that's in upstate New York. If you can get a hold of me, Jim, find me on Facebook or Instagram and send me a message, and I'll get you details on that. I'm not opening it up to all the masses just because my property can't handle, I don't want it to turn into a Woodstock, not that it would, but we had a lot of people here last year, and I can handle more than that, but I can't handle 5 times that. Yeah. I can send you one of those stickers, same thing. If you can find me or give me a way to get a hold of you, Vroom, so I can get your address, I'll gladly send you a couple of those stickers. Treasure Life has a new old stock set of 250 SX tires. Of course you do.
Everyone.
Yeah. I think if you put them in a garbage bag, if you doused them pretty good with the 303, put it on heavy and then put it in a garbage bag, you'll be sitting pretty. What is my go-to aftermarket muffler for a 250 ES? Your English is fine.
Yes, it is.
There's not a ton of options. There's a gentleman that he's been making reproduction stainless steel exhausts for the 250 ES. He has an eBay store that he sells them on, and I think he sells them through Travis Gisclair, DNA Restorations. So they look like factory. If you were to paint them with some charcoal paint or with some grill paint is what I mean. They'll look just like stock. That's your best bet. They're not inexpensive. I think they're $400 or $500, but they're really nice. I'm reading Black Smoke Matters. I got an original front tire, 250R tire, never been used. The guy gave it to me when I bought it from him like 25 years ago. That's super special. I just got a Dunlop. I think it was made in 06. That's the date code on it. But a Dunlop 250R front tire for 85. Like how? I don't know what to do. To get a hold of me? I don't know, vroom vroom, if you're on Facebook, you can find me, Preston Frazier. I think those links are all in my About section on YouTube, so you can click and find me there and message me, or somebody you know can message me and get me your info. You don't want to put it out here where anybody can see it, but send it to me that way and I'll get you one.
Can you show us?
Sure. Palin has been making some things. Palin's coming with me to Trike Fest. So she's making some merch that she's going to be selling at Trike Fest. And this is a handcrafted felt and pipe cleaner and feather three-wheeler that will be available for purchase.
Feathers.
These seem feathery. What are these?
Puffy pipe cleaner.
Puffy pipe cleaners. I got to read some questions. How was Mike able to get all of the new old stock parts from machines that were taken off the market in the late 80s? I will ask him that. I think he's been involved so long in this industry that he bought out a lot of dealers. I think that as that stuff was going obsolete, he was able to secure a bunch of it before demand went through the roof. But let me ask that. What are you laughing at, Palin?
Remember says he makes three-wheelers on a game on his phone. It's not the same.
Jim's going to bring the big red. Do you have a 95 Honda 4Trax 200 Type 2? No, I don't. I have a friend who has one. His son has one. Can we reach you on Facebook? Yes, you can. There should be a link to my profile in the About section on YouTube, I believe. Facebook was promoting having a page. So I do have an account that is This Old Trike ATC Collection. And people message me there, and I direct them right back to my personal one, so I don't have to keep switching between accounts because it's a pain in the butt. So try to find my personal account. So Spencer Hughes, now that you have all the known three-wheelers, what's to expect content-wise coming up? So content-wise coming up is basically me going through my collection, restoring the machines that aren't as nice as they deserve to be. So you can expect to see this 85 250R that I'm picking up the motor for coming back together, and that machine being finished off. Another noteworthy thing is tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of the first video I posted on YouTube, and that was this 85 250R, and I'm talking about how I'm going to give it a little facelift. And I never in a million years thought it would take me 2 years to still not be done, but that's where we're at. So that's going to be closing out. You can expect to see my 88 Big Red from England come into the shop, along with a Big Blue, a 1986 Big Blue that I got 90% finished but never quite finished off, and then a third 86 Big Red that is going to be a donor for both machines, make the Big Blue and the 88 a whole lot nicer. And when I'm done with that, the donor machine I'm going to have to sell off. So that's a couple of the things that are coming up. I've got some 200M videos I got to make. I've got a couple ATC 70s that I'm going to build that are going to be custom machines. So pretty diverse. If you can see me, nod your head.
I nodded my head.
Oh, okay. Those must be all towards you. Vroom vroom. My Facebook name is Preston, Preston, Frazier, Frasier, which is the correct way to spell Frazier. Like the TV show, no Z. You gotta have the I in the right place. You gotta have an I. That's my Facebook name. Elijah Jones. What are my thoughts on the 82 to 85 200 Big Red suspension? So the front forks, poor design, and if your fork boots fail and you get water in there, your forks will lock up, and I'm unaware of any way to repair them once they freeze up. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much. So I thought that was fitting that on the day of my 2-year anniversary, we're going out to fetch the motor parts for the machine that kind of started it. And just got excited. My mom is having some footage digitized from 1998 when I had just torn down that machine. I was putting it back together as a college freshman with my buddy Eric in my shed, which is right over there. 98, so it was 25 years ago. So I'm going to merge in that footage as soon as I get it from her. Do I have any 200 EES with working front suspension? I think the only suspension on my machines like that are locked up is my 84 200 ES, which I have to specify that it's not the 84 200E, because we all know. All right. I'll look for the message from your mom. We'll just see if I got it right here. Not yet, but it's probably coming, I'm sure.
Huh?
There it is.
That's better.
Got it. I'll respond to her in a bit. Get you those stickers. Okay. When is the right time to do a valve adjustment? That's a great question. Well, if it's starting hard, that's usually a valve issue. If you can hear it, you've got a valve issue. Speaking of future content, my TPC is really hard to start. So that's 450 ER. It does not want to start easily. So, and if it shuts off, other than manually turning it off, like if you stall it, it doesn't want to start back up again. So that's a valve issue. So those are some of the indicators. You should, I suppose, be in there checking your tolerances. That's not the easiest machine in the world to check, but a regular 200 motor, a 250 SX ES motor, those are pretty easy to get in there with a feeler gauge and check your valve spacing. Hit the like button. How do you find the time to do all those? So my routine is I get up at 5 Monday through Friday, and you shaking your head. You're not up. You don't know. I shower. I get ready for work, and before I go to work, I go out to my shop. So I'm in my shop from 6 to 7:30, and then I go to work. And after work, I'm pretty much in the house most of the night, with rare exception. Summertime is different, being that it's light out, and I do more during the summer. But usually I'm moving the ball down the field Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. And then usually one of the weekend days I get some time out there, but I try to leave one weekend day free unless I'm really pushing hard to try to get a project done or something. Elijah Jones. I heard from my father. He was riding his 200E and his front forks fell off while he was riding a wheelie, and they just rolled down the yard in front of him. Yeah, that's what they do. When they fail, it is catastrophic failure. You're either doing a wheelie or you're going off a bump or something, and they eject. And then you've got two two prongs that are going to bite into the dirt and give you a bad afternoon. I've never had that happen, but I've had people tell me about it. On Treasure Life's 82 Big Red, I'm going to take my forks apart and put them in my sonic cleaner and polish the inside, so hopefully that frees them up. Keep me posted, because a lot of people want to hear about that, and if you take any video of that, I don't know if you make any videos, but if you want to send me some video to put that out there, I'll gladly do that. Broke your wrist 2 times on your 3-wheeler. Same wrist or different wrist? I don't know if you can see it through my hoodie. I didn't break my collarbone, but it was 2 years ago on Valentine's Day that I separated my shoulder. I did a full separation on my TPC. I ended up catching the rear tire of a friend who was on the 350X, and we're going left on an ice oval, and I caught his left rear tire with my right rear tire, and it sent me sideways and down, and I blew out my shoulder. So I don't have any pain from that. It gets weird sometimes. It's not 100%, but some numbness sometimes. MYNCP, because I have owned the bike for 32 years and never had a problem. A neighbor told me to do a valve adjustment. That's why. At 32 years, it can't hurt to get in there, especially on a 250 ES, to just take your front and back valve covers off. You got to take your tank off, and you can get in there with a feeler gauge. And I forget how many thousandths it is. What is your least favorite trike? I've been caught saying I don't really care for 200Xs.
No, but he probably means in general.
That's what I'm saying in general.
But I thought you didn't like Yamahas or like Kawasaki.
Oh, in general, that way. All right, I'm going to act like you're talking only about Hondas, because that's all I care about. Like a first-gen 200X doesn't do anything for me. They're underpowered. I know people love them. I don't know. I really don't have a least favorite trike. I've got my favorite ones, and then there's the other ones. But I've kind of been on that bandwagon, so I'll say that. Opinions on the videos on YouTube of Honda dealers in Canada confirming the 87 250R and 350X exist. Just curious. All right, Spencer. So I've seen the video where the guy calls in and he's on the phone, and it's been a while since I've seen that video, but I don't think that confirmed or ruled out anything. There's one of a guy at a gas station, I think, and he's like, yeah, this is an 87 350X. And they show the sticker, and you can go to Bruce Alma Blue Line Decals and have a sticker made. That's not.
Oh, PJ's here.
Oh my gosh, PJ's here. So the sticker's not going to prove anything. You want to see the VIN. So 86 is an easy number to start with. The 10th digit is G. The 6 and the G look similar. So next number is H. So I want to see the H in that 10th digit. There's some other tells too. So you got to have a dash, but you could put a dash on. You could put a dash on from an 87 200X. There's some other differences too. I'm speaking of 250R specifically, like the snorkel from your air filter to your carburetor. I looked at the schematic the other day, because there's schematics for the 87 250R. I fully believe that they were making them and gearing up to do that, but I think they didn't get released and never. I don't think any of them got into the hands of the public. That's my opinion on that. You'd never see a picture of an 87 250R outside of the promotional pictures. Flipped his 84. Elijah flipped his 84 YTM 225 and broke his cheekbones and had some spinal bleeding. then Yamahas are dangerous. The Yamahas are the real culprits, I think, for why things were banned. Because Honda had I just lost my place. Honda had patents on engine placement, foot peg placement, handlebar placement. So that geometry that feels so right, nobody else could do that. So everything was off a little bit, and it just didn't feel right. And they put their motors a little bit further back, which made them wheelie machines, but then they would tip. Treasure Life's going to make a vid. 200Xs are fun. They are fun. I have the second gen 200Xs look great, ride better. The first ones are just kind of underpowered, in my opinion.
Oh, yes, I do have a Trike.
Really love the US 90. My old man always told me, if it ain't broke, don't touch it, son. There's a lot to be said for that. You're not touching too much by checking your valve tolerances. Thank you for making these videos. You've ignited a passion of mine that was lost for many years. It's really helped a lot, especially after the last 3 years. I went through it. I didn't ride much at all from about 2001 or so until 2016. I had my 250R and I had my 400EX, and they were in the shed. I sold my 350X that I had in high school back in 2010, and I regret doing that. But I went through a long time where I was focused on the kids. The children were young. My career was a big part of what was keeping me busy. We were doing other things outside of work that needed my attention. So playing with Hondas wasn't time for it, and I didn't have the means. I didn't, financially have the means. I didn't have the space to do it either. So things kind of ramped up real fast for me in 2016, the end of the year, and then 2017 is when I really started putting my collection together. But I'm glad you were inspired, Jim. I actually started my YouTube channel over a year before I really made my first video. I made a video and I put it up there and I watched it once. I said, this is absolutely horrible. Nobody wants to see me talking to myself. So I didn't do anything. And it's marked private, so it's still there, but I don't think I'll ever put it out there. It's dumb. It's nothing I haven't said already. Blink twice if you're okay.
I'm okay. I blinked.
Do you like electric shift? So Bennett's Recon has electric shift, and we put a new battery in it, but his battery was weak, and we had an issue with his electric shift. And my booster pack was weak, so it's neat. I don't have anything that I ride with it. Same rest. Elijah, the engine displacement on the Yamaha suck. Having balloon tires on it don't help. They give too much and make it easier to tip. Having a light front tire didn't help either. My thumb wore out from riding. It hurts after a couple hours right now. Oh no. You got like carpal tunnel in your thumb. Black smoke. William, how do you pronounce your last name? Hoke? Is it a K sound or is it a CH like it looks? Well, hi, South Jersey. Hello from upstate New York. Yes. I'm assuming you mean Hoke. Jesse Kottner. This is it. Jesse, this is my second live video. You were my first. Jesse is the guy that got the mullet from me at Trike Fest. Just by curiosity, would it change something on the speedometer if the length of the speedometer cable is a foot longer? It shouldn't. But there are options out there that are a lot closer to stock than a foot. Another fellow Canadian named Travis Matthews told me what model to get if I need one for a 250 ES, but I can't remember. So, but no, it shouldn't change. The gear, if you have the wrong drive gear for the wrong machine, like if you put a drive gear that that for a machine that's got 22-inch front tires and put it on something with 25, that's probably going to read one way or the other. Too fast or too slow, I can't remember. But no, length shouldn't change. Treasure Life doesn't like electric shift. On his Rubicon, he spent 2,500 Canadian on electronics because they shorted out. Yeah, that's no good. So that's about, what, 4,000 US? Or no, 2,500 Canadian is about $40 US. I just had to spend $22.30 on my truck for new brakes, not drums, rotors, calipers, and a couple other things. But I want to make sure I was going to get to Mike's tomorrow. All right, everybody's greeting each other. Can we get a reverse drag race video, Big Red versus SX versus 125M? Yes, PJ. Let me make a note of that over here. There's a danger with going too fast in reverse, and PJ knows why, because we watched a gentleman back up too fast at Trike Fest, and he tipped over. Yeah. Ask Mike, what's the rarest Honda line accessory? That's a good one. MRC. Rarest Honda line accessory. Let's circle back. So if anybody's here that hasn't been here, we're taking questions to ask Mike Palmgren tomorrow when we go to his place. We're picking up my 250R cases that he's vapor honed and done some things to. We'll talk about that when we get there. We're picking up a mystery machine from a buddy in Connecticut on the way there. But these are questions from Mike Palmgren. Vroom Vroom made me a 350X in the game. Oh, my 350X in the game. Awesome. David Fisher was there for the mullet. That was super awkward. It was hot. So if you ever had your hair cut when you're sweaty, or if you can imagine that, it's not the best conditions to do that. And it was all over my three-wheeler. I think I know. PJ Hart, ask Mike his favorite three-wheeled ATV, any make, model. So I think we've got that questions. Yes. From Treasure Life. So I'll clarify that. So our cat's name is Ash. But I was suggesting when we were playing that game, what should we name the cat? He's a gray cat, so we went through all the gray names, right? So that's how we got to Ash. But I suggested that Honda made a couple gray four-wheelers, right? Cosmic Gray, TRX 300, and I think that was the color of the 87 250X was Cosmic Gray. So Cosmic Gray is kind of a weird name for a cat. So I modified it a little bit, and I said, what about Cosmo? And then we sprinkle a little flair from Seinfeld in there and do, instead of Cosmo Kramer, Cosmo Gramer. Cat's name is Ash. That's how that went. Oh, Doc's here, commenting on the 225 Yamahas. Treasure Life's hiding some of his messages. So how do I know I have the right gearbox for my 250 ES? Why would you have any other gearbox other than the right gearbox? How do you get the wrong gearbox? You can check the serial number on your motor, and you can confirm that is the right year motor. And if that's the right year motor, it's got to be the right gearbox. It was purely magical. He's lying. I'm glad you thought it was magical. PJ's new here. My Cowie KLT 160 is fast in reverse. What is the hardest part to replace? Kane, is that a question for Mike? What is the hardest part to replace? And do you mean physically, labor-wise, or replace in general, like finding a replacement? Ask Mike if they were to carpet Florida. Yeah. If they were to carpet Florida, how long would it take to vacuum? On a Honda 3-wheeler. Okay. Polaris 455 diesel. Faster in reverse than it was forward. How about that? To find. Dennis Brooks, I want to ask you and Mike if anybody knows of new old stock 88 250R fenders, all three pieces. I have the hood, or a decent set of riders without cracks or burns. I could restore if scratched or hazed. I know of two guys that have fenders that meet that description, and neither of them are for sale. Hi, honey. You're on Facebook or YouTube Live. We're talking about three-wheelers. Yeah. Okay. Ask him if he has any Honda Cat CT 110 parts. Okay, you know, you can ask him that stuff. I was asking like the heavy hitting questions. Timmy the kitty.
He's Ash.
So I think that's it for our live. We're sufficiently in the weeds here. The cat's made multiple appearances. We had a small fight right there. We're into the carpet questions, but I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yes, Ash.
11 questions to ask Mike. I'm really excited to get out there and all right, put them down. I'm really excited to go out there and see that. I'm thankful that you guys joined us here. Yeah, growing up in the 80s, being that age would have been great. Doc is signing off. Will Vintage Motorsports powder coat and vapor hone right? Or is he not taking on any new work right now, if you know? I know he took on my work. I don't know if that's just good filler work because it wasn't a full machine, it wasn't a full rebuild. I don't know if he was just doing me a favor, but I'll ask him, you know. I know his builds are a guy reached out to me recently looking for a 250 ES motor to be rebuilt, and he reached out to Mike, and Mike told him next winter. So I don't know. I don't know if I cut the line. So you guys, what jet size do you recommend on your 350X? My 350X has a 400EX carburetor and a super trap exhaust and some motor work. And I just told somebody the other day what I recommend, but now I can't remember who that was. But I always look it up the same way. I think I know what it is, but I don't want to say it wrong. $152 main and a 42 idle jet is what I run, but that is in a 400EX carburetor with a super trap. And it works well for me. You're welcome for the stickers. Thanks for the well wishes, guys. Bye, PJ. Shelby says hi.
Hi, Shelby.
Eat your vegetables. You don't have to tell Palin to eat her vegetables. That's a. Is a strawberry?
Yeah.
A vegetable.
Oh, yeah. Tomatoes are fruits.
Yeah. He owns 3 gearboxes. Oh, gearbox. Sorry, drive gear. You threw me for a loop. I don't know how to tell the difference between the drive gears. I'm gonna ask Mike that if there's a secret to it. What is some motor work? Ported head and cams. My 350X has a 340B webcam in it. It's been bored with a 10 1/4 to 1 piston, Wiseco piston. It's got kibble white springs. It has not been ported. 400EX carb, super trap. I feel like there's something else. That may be it. The day you turn 18, you can get a 3-wheeler. Okay. All right. Night, Aaron. Night, Andrew. Thanks for watching, guys. This was fun. I didn't expect it to go as long as this. And you just made first like. Okay. Well, look, we're coming up right on an hour. An hour. Holy mackerel.
Let's just wait till an hour.
All right, we're signing off.
At an hour.
I'll probably post a couple shorts throughout the day, so you can get a glimpse of what we're picking up in Connecticut, and then a glimpse of Mike's shop. But I'll edit the video we take tomorrow and be posting it Sunday night. So look out for that. And yep, David, we'll see you in June. Hopefully you can stay longer than just the afternoon, and it'll be great. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.